again, welcome. Welcome to class 1029. 1029. We're going to continue with the story of Nancy Johnson. If you have the book, Vaughan World, we're on page 80. Page 80. And the story of Nancy Johnson and George Clooney. Nancy Johnson has a problem. Empiezo otra vez. Nancy Johnson has a problem. If she had problems like this one every day, she and her family would be rich by now. Okay, her problem is that she has been offered a job to decorate the home that George Clooney owns in Aspen, Colorado, the most famous ski resort in the United States. It would mean spending. It would mean, significaría pasar o dedicar. It would mean spending at least 1 week out of every month. Fijaos, out of every month. Significaría pasar por lo menos una semana de cada mes. 1 week of every month también es correcto. Pero se dice mucho out of. Sacados de cada mes. Out of every month. It would mean spending at least 1 week out of every month in Aspen. This evening, esta tarde noche, this evening she will discuss the problem with her husband. Imagina el marido. Darling, hey Philip, darling, yeah. I've been offered a job. Oh, good, what job? I've been offered a different type of job. Well, what is it? I've been offered a job to decorate a house in Aspen, Colorado. Aspen? It's too far away. Yeah, but no es una casa cualquiera. It's not just any home, darling. Well, what is it? It belongs to George Clooney. George Clooney? Is this through Eddie Campbell? Yes. Ahora vendrá Eddie Campbell. Okay. So that's the beginning of the conversation. We'll come back perhaps to the conversation later. All right, so this evening she will discutir. She will discuss the problem with her husband, Philip, and then call Eddie Campbell to let him know her final decision. So first she's going to discuss the problem with Philip, her husband, and they'll make a decision. And then she will call Eddie Campbell. Eduardo Campbell. Eddie. Eduardito. No hay diminutivo de Eduardo aquí, ¿no? Edu. Edu. Claro. Pues en inglés, Eddie. Eddie Campbell. And then she'll call Eddie Campbell to give him her answer, yes or no. All right. Eddie is a famous interior decorator and the most prestigious professor of interior design in California. He teaches at UCLA. UCLA. ¿Sabes lo que es UCLA? ¿No? ¿Has visto algunos que dicen UCLA? UCLA. No decimos UCLA. We don't say UCLA, no. We say UCLA. UCLA. University of California at Los Angeles. Campus de la Universidad de California in Los Angeles. The University of California system has several campuses. The University of California at Los Angeles, the University of California at Davis, the University of California at Berkeley, the University of California at Chico, California, una pequeña ciudad que se llama Chico, in the north. University of California at Irvine. There are many campuses of the University of California, and one of the two most famous, of course, are Berkeley, the main campus, and the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA, UCLA, University of California, Los Angeles. Okay. And Eddie Campbell is a professor, a prestigious professor of interior design at the University of California at Los Angeles, UCLA, 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 UCLA. And he's very well known. All right. Yes. Now, he and his students often help the Hollywood rich to decorate their homes in Beverly Hills and Malibu Beach. Malibu, te suena, no? Malibu Beach, la playa Malibu. Yeah, many of the Hollywood rich, los ricos de Hollywood, have homes in Beverly Hills and Malibu Beach. And Eddie, the professor, and his students perform the decoration tasks for the rich, the Hollywood rich. Okay. Yeah. Now, Eddie knows Nancy, nuestra protagonista aquí. Eddie knows Nancy. He knows Nancy Johnson very well because they studied interior design together at the University of Kansas. You remember Nancy Johnson is from Kansas. She's from a town in southeastern Kansas called Coffeyville. And she attended the University of Kansas in a small city called Lawrence. Como Lawrence de Arabia, Lawrence of Arabia, Lawrence. That's the home of the University of Kansas. And she coincided with Eddie Campbell. And they studied together. They were together studying interior design. And then Nancy got married to Philip Johnson and moved to Nebraska, just north of Kansas. But Eddie went to Los Angeles and became famous. Well, he got a PhD, se doctoró in UCLA. He got a doctorate or a PhD at UCLA. And he became a professor of interior decoration or interior design at UCLA. And he uses his students, explotación infantil, okay? He uses his students to help him design decoration plans for the rich Hollywood actors and directors and producers, etc. Okay. Eddie and his students decorated George Clooney's home in Beverly Hills. Yes, 7 years ago. 7 years ago, Eddie Campbell and his students decorated the Beverly Hills home owned by George Clooney. All right, 7 years ago. Last week, Mr. Clooney called Eddie. Say, Eddie, George, wow, long time no see. It's a pleasure. ¿A qué debo este honor? What do I owe the honor to? To what do I owe the honor of your, he said, well, Eddie, I need your help. I need your help. So, asking him to decorate his new home in Colorado. Eddie, I need you to do your magic again. I need you to do your magic again. This time in Colorado. Oh, George, Colorado. Where? Aspen? Okay. All right. Eddie couldn't do it. He said, I'm sorry, George. I can't do it. So he couldn't do it. But he told George Clooney that he had the perfect person for the job. Okay. I'm sorry, George, but... Yeah, he said, I'm sorry, George, but I simply can't get away from Los Angeles now and spend time in Colorado. But I have the perfect person for the job. I have the perfect person for the job. Nancy Johnson. Okay. His old friend from the university, Nancy Johnson. Okay, here we are. Okay. Now Nancy has to make a decision. Her mother and sister live in Coffeyville, Kansas. Her sister is single. If they could come to Lincoln from time to time to stay with the kids, then maybe Nancy could have time to go to Colorado and do the job. Also, she's sure that the technical school, she teaches every day from 10 to 12 in the morning. She's sure that the technical school would give her the time off as well. Le daría el tiempo libre. The time off as well. It would mean a lot for the school to have a teacher who is decorating the home of George Clooney. What will Philip say, she thought. ¿Qué pensará su marido? How much time do we have? Yeah? We have a lot. This is an interesting story. All right, let me recapitulate. And I'm going to add one more piece of information. She is being offered $250,000. $250,000 is $250,000. In euros serían 225,000 euros. It's a lot of money. How much time? Maybe 8 months of work. 1 week per month. So it'd be 8 weeks, but over a period of 8 months. Okay? $250,000, that's a lot of money. And so she needs to make a decision. But she needs to consult with her husband. Now, so let me recapitulate. She has a dilemma. Her husband is in the bank, still working. He hasn't come home yet. And she received a telephone call. Said, Eddie Campbell. Eddie Campbell called her. Said, hi, Eddie. How are things going? Said, fine. How are things going in Nebraska? How's Nebraska? How's the family? Fine, etc., etc. The typical small talk. Se dice small talk. El habla pequeño, o sea, las conversaciones poco trascendentales del inicio. How are things going? Small talk. But then Eddie brings up the subject. He brings up the subject. Said, listen, Nancy, I have an interesting offer to make. Well, what is it, Eddie? Well, it's to decorate a home. Oh, great. No problem. Where? Aspen, Colorado. But Eddie, Aspen, Colorado is 10 hours from here. In fact, yesterday after the class, I checked. Aspen, Colorado is not, according to Google Maps, by car, it's 9 hours and 22 minutes from Lincoln, Nebraska. So if Nancy goes once a week, 1 week per month to Aspen, she would need 9.5 hours, sin parar para comer, 10 hours if she stops. She would need 10 hours to go and 10 hours to come back. That means 2 days are lost traveling. She could fly, because there's an airport in Lincoln, Nebraska, and she could fly. I'm sure there are flights every day, maybe 2 flights or 3 flights every day from Lincoln. Lincoln is the capital of Nebraska. It's a small city, 200,000 people at the most, and but because it's the capital, it has an airport, and I'm sure there are a lot of flights, maybe 2 or 3 flights a day to Denver. And so she could take a morning flight to Denver, which would take maybe 1 hour, an hour and a half maybe, to fly. No, maybe an hour and a half to fly to Denver. But the Denver airport, my God, okay. This is Denver, the city of Denver. Aspen is here. Aspen is about 2.5 hours in the mountains from Denver. It's pretty far, or 3 hours maybe. And the airport is here. Quite far. Well, the airport is about 30 minutes outside of Denver. I've been to the airport twice, the Denver airport. I've never been to Aspen, never. I've been to Vail, another very famous ski resort, un poco más cerca, maybe 2 hours, not 3. So to drive from here to there is probably 4 hours. And she needs to rent a car. She needs to pick up a rented car. She can reserve the car, of course. But then she needs the time. So probably she can fly to the airport in an hour and a half. But to get to the airport in Lincoln, Nebraska, she would need to leave home, and it takes her 30 minutes to get to the airport. By the time she's flying, an hour and a half has passed. Another hour and a half. So 3 hours pass and she arrives here. Then she needs 4 hours. So it's 7 hours. Even if she flies, it will take her 7 hours from door to door, puerta a puerta. 7 hours from door to door. If she drives, 10 hours from door to door. So in either case, in essence, she loses a day at the beginning and at the end. So the net week, she needs 6 days net, or 5 days net, lunes a viernes, 5 net days, días netos, digamos, completos. And so she needs to travel on Sunday and return on Saturday. Okay, all right. So she needs to make this decision. She will stop teaching at the school, the technical school. She can't continue because she will miss 1 week every month. However, for the technical school, it's a point of prestige that one of the professors is decorating George Clooney's home. So, well, one of our professors is decorating the home of George Clooney. It adds prestige to the technical school. And but what will Philip think? And the kids. I mean, Michael is 14. Soon he will turn 15. He's almost 15. Denise is 11. Now, Nancy has a mother and sister in Coffeyville, Kansas. Digo así porque es al sur. South of Nebraska is the state of Kansas. In the south of Kansas, in the southeastern point, is a town called Coffeyville. Se escribe coffee, no como café. Coffeeyey, Coffeyville. It's an important town in southeastern Kansas. And her mother is a widow. So her mother is, her husband died. Nancy's father died. And Nancy's sister is single. So, and they live together. The mother and the daughter live together. Now, the daughter, I don't know if the daughter is working or not, but the mother could go, or both could go to live with Philip and the kids during 1 week every month to take care of the kids. You know, that's the problem, the kids. The problem's not Philip. Maybe. But in any case, this evening she's going to talk to Philip when he gets home. And she's going to present the dilemma. What shall we do? They're offering $250,000. What would you do? What would you do? You're a woman. Would you take the offer? You're the husband. Would you say yes? Eh? Would you take the job? ¿Tú harías el trabajo? No. Maybe. You leave Victor with your mother or con with your mother-in-law. All right? Y desaparecer el mapa. Ir a Gerona. okay, for some special photographic sessions, 1 week, 1 full week every month for 8 months. But with good money, yeah. $250,000. Huh? All right, not bad, not bad. Me, I would do, of course I would do it. I would do it. And I would say yes. Yes. Because if my wife says to me, darling, George Clooney ya está entrado, Brad Pitt, no. ¿Quién es el más cotizado hoy? Who's the most popular male actor today? I don't know. I really don't know. But in any case, I would say yes, because for the rest of her life, she would be thinking, what opportunity did I miss? You see? An opportunity like this doesn't come up very often. No se presenta. Una oportunidad como esta no se presenta muchas veces en la vida. Come up. No surge. Come up. An opportunity like this doesn't come up very often. So, our good friend Nancy, what will she do? What will happen in the future? Nancy Johnson has a problem. If she had problems like this one every day, she and her family would be rich by now. Her problem is that she has been offered a job to decorate the home that George Clooney owns in Aspen, Colorado, the most famous ski resort in the United States. It would mean spending at least 1 week, 1 week out of every month in Aspen. All right. This evening, she will discuss the problem with her husband, Philip, and then call Eddie Campbell to let him know her final decision. Eddie Campbell and Nancy met at the University of Kansas because they were both majoring in interior design. Es una interior design, arquitectura de interiores, diseño de interiores, decoración de interiores. Es una carrera, una titulación de grado en Estados Unidos. Aquí no lo sé. Quizás, yeah. I mean, arquitectura, yes. And then you have arquitectura de paisajes, paisajística. But arquitectura de interiores, un diseño interior. I'm sure será una titulación de grado, creo. I'm sure, probably. Depending on what university. I don't know. But she and Eddie studied the same thing. She and Eddie studied the same major, the same specialty. And they became good friends at the university. And Nancy met Philip at a party in Lawrence, Kansas. And they started going out together. And they got married very quickly. When she finished the university, she and Philip now is 39, and Nancy is 38. However, Michael, the boy, is almost 15, which means that Nancy became pregnant with Michael at the age of 22. Okay. Maybe it was a shotgun wedding. ¿Sabes lo que es una boda escopeta? ¿Lo sabes? Okay. A shotgun wedding. De penalty se dice aquí, ¿no? Okay. A shotgun wedding es donde el padre de la novia, ya embarazada, con su escopeta obliga al chico a ir al pastor de la iglesia y que se casen. Shotgun. You're going to marry my daughter? That's a shotgun wedding. All right. Maybe it was a shotgun wedding. Who knows? Boda escopeta. Bajo escopeta. All right. But probably not. Okay. So that means Nancy and Nancy and her husband met when they were in university. I don't know where Philip studied. Maybe he studied at the University of Kansas too. Because Lawrence, Kansas is not too far from Lincoln, Nebraska. Not really. But in any case, speculation. But during her degree plan, during her studies, 4 years at the university, she became good friends with Eddie Campbell. Now, she met Philip. They were going out together and they got married when they graduated. And Eddie, very artistic fellow, he never got married. Okay. And he went to Hollywood. He went to Los Angeles. But he went to Los Angeles first to continue studying interior decoration, interior design. And he has a PhD. He got a doctorate. And so he's a professor now at UCLA in interior design. And he has become very, very well known among the Hollywood rich. But I'll continue this story of the family another day. See you tomorrow.